The Naturalist 2.0 add-on for Minecraft Bedrock Edition adds over 100 new animals to the game and dozens of items for you to play around with. And with that much new content, you might be wondering just what exactly this add-on has to offer. And that's why today we're going to be taking a look at 15 features you probably didn't know about in Naturalist 2.0. Now, before we get into the list, I want to remind you to go ahead and like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. We here at Starfish Studios are always making new mods and add-ons for Minecraft, and subscribing is the best way that you can stay up to date with all that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. If you wander around a forest biome long enough, you're bound to come across a butterfly or two. Just like the Minecraft bee, the butterfly can be bred using flowers, but unlike other mobs which produce a smaller version of themselves, the butterfly will produce a caterpillar. These cute little guys will inch around all over the ground, and when they become old enough, they'll find a suitable place on a nearby tree and form a chrysalis. And given enough time, that chrysalis will hatch a beautiful butterfly. With just a handful of flowers, you could have yourself an entire butterfly house in no time at all. Grizzly bears and their smaller cousin, the black bear, are pretty lazy creatures, making sure to never miss their midday nap. But once these lumbering oafs have had their fill of sleeping, they'll go on the hunt for something sweet to eat. Both types of bear will hunt salmon swimming around in rivers, and will seek out nearby berry bushes or beehives to satiate their hunger. They'll even find a comfortable spot to sit and eat their newest meal, which plays a super cool custom animation that is just fantastic. But if you do decide to go on a bear safari, just make sure to keep your distance from Mama and her cubs, or else you might be next on the menu. The crab may have lost last year's mob vote, and while we don't know if they'll eventually make their way into the base game, Naturalist 2.0 has you covered, with 5 different crab variants that spawn on beaches. These crazy crustaceans have a habit of picking up sand blocks and holding onto them for a while before placing them somewhere else. And while normally crabs will attempt to run away if you attack them, if you're unlucky enough to accidentally drop your sword, a crab can pick it up and will use it against you. But crabs aren't the only mob in this add-on with an affinity for kleptomania. The raccoon is a passive nocturnal mob, and if you see these guys near your base, it's probably a good idea to keep your loot out of their reach. Raccoons can rummage through unattended barrels and chests at night, and can make off with a random item inside. If you manage to kill a thieving raccoon, it does have a chance to drop the item that it stole, but it doesn't always drop it, so it's probably best to just keep your chests inside where they can't reach them. The badger is one of the new animals in Naturalist, added in the 2.0 update. These unassuming critters can be found near cave entrances and forest biomes, wandering and sniffing around during the night. But as soon as the sun comes up, they'll attempt to return to the seclusion of their cave. Now, while these guys can't be tamed or bred, it might be worth taking one on your next trip to a nether bastion, as badgers will attack piglins and piglin brutes on sight. With enough leads, you could have a whole army of these guys at your disposal, making your next hunt for netherite smithing templates a total breeze. So, you just obliterated the surrounding landscape and created a larger-than-life wheat farm. Now what? Well, you could harvest all that wheat by yourself, or you could grab a few kiwi to take care of the job for you. These New Zealand natives can be tamed with seeds, and once you do this, they'll follow you around just like wolves. If there's any crops nearby, your kiwis will harvest and deliver them directly to you. No more needing to trap farmer villagers in an underground dome anymore. Well, I guess, unless you want to. I won't judge. While Naturalist 2.0's penguins aren't the most graceful creatures, these birds have an excellent trading mechanic, which will make your next trip to an icy biome all the worth it. Similar to piglins in the nether, if you approach a penguin and drop a raw cod on the ground, you can barter with the penguin to receive a random piece of loot. It can be something as lame as 6 blocks of gravel, but it can also be something really cool, like enchanted books, wet sponges, and even nautilus shells. This feature alone makes a penguin's friendship quite valuable in the long run. Now, penguins aren't the only semi-aquatic creatures that you can get items from. Otters are an adorable mob that can be found swimming around in small bodies of water. If there are any groups of fish nearby, an otter will attack them and bring it back up to the surface to chow down on. Now, otters can be tamed, and while a wild otter will simply eat whatever it hunts, a tamed otter has a chance of bringing whatever it's hunted back to the player. Also, they're just about the cutest animal in the entire add-on, no question about that. This next entry isn't about a specific animal, but rather an item. Naturalist 2.0 features a bug net, which is a super versatile tool for any aspiring entomologist. When holding a bug net, players can right-click on and catch all sorts of animals, like caterpillars, termites, tree frogs, butterflies, dragonflies, hamsters, scorpions, beetles, fireflies, and even rats, which turns them into an item inside your inventory. Pairing this together with the water bucket, which allows you to catch most of Naturalist's smaller aquatic mobs, you can collect a total of 97 different mobs in your inventory for safe and easy transportation back to your base. Or maybe away from your base, depending on how you feel about bugs. Imagine this, you are on a race against the clock to get back to where you died before your top tier loot despawns. When suddenly out of the corner of your eye, you see the alligator and the capybara are friends. That's the entire fact. Naturalist 2.0 adds a wide range of snakes into the game, including a rattlesnake that will shake its tail if the player gets too close. But something that many people might not discover on their own is that snakes love to eat. When a snake comes across things that are on the ground, like raw chicken for example, they'll slither right up and eat the entire thing whole. If it happens to eat something that's yours, a single hit will cause the snake to cough up whatever it ate. But you're gonna need to do this quickly, because after about 5 minutes, the snake's gonna digest whatever's in its stomach. The Blobfish is one of the coolest new mobs in the add-on because it technically has two different models. The classic Blobfish that people are typically familiar with is the result of the fish being brought to the surface, where it bloats outward due to lack of external pressure. The Blobfish looks much different when swimming in its natural habitat at the bottom of the ocean. We made sure to add this feature in by having the Blobfish appear bloated only when taken with a bucket or when brought above Y level 30. It's those small details in Naturalist that we really pride ourselves on, bringing so much realism and life into this game. If you're about to settle into your Minecraft world with a brand new wooden house, you might want to check your surroundings before you do, just to make sure there are no termites or beavers around. Both of these animals have a crazy appetite for wood and can actually strip the bark off of logs, turning them into stripped logs. This is a pretty cool and fun mechanic, but it might be a good idea to make your future foundations out of stone. Otherwise, you might come home from a mining trip to a nasty surprise. Ah, the humble mole. Moles have one of the simplest, but also one of the most effective mechanics in the entire add-on. When you first come across one, you might not actually realize it because you won't actually see it. Moles spend their days burrowing underground, leaving behind a small trail of churned up dirt. And they'll even use this as a defense mechanism against players if attacked. Now, the mole doesn't do as much as some of the other animals on this list, but this feature was so unique that I felt it deserved a spot on this list. Gotta show some love for those more ambient mobs. Have you ever looked at some of the larger animals in Naturalist 2.0 and gone, that apex predator is adorable, I want to cuddle it? Perfect. Naturalist adds 5 new plushies that can be crafted from animal fur and different colored dye. Now you can decorate your home with your very own shark, hamster, penguin, lion, and of course, bear. Fur can be obtained as a drop from killing various mobs throughout the game, but not to worry, animal lovers. There is a more humane way to start growing your plushie collection. But wouldn't it be awesome if these Naturalist plushies could be real? Well, thanks to our friends over at Makeship, now they can be! We currently have a petition going on over at makeship.com for a Grizzly Bear plushie that can be yours to own. All you have to do is follow the link in the description below, pledge $2 to the campaign, and with enough support, pretty soon our cuddly bear friend will begin production. We only need 200 supporters, so if you really want to support this campaign, go ahead and click that link right now. And while you're down there in the description, don't forget that you can also follow a link to the Naturalist 2.0 add-on and begin your animal adventures today. And for the Java users out there, we do have a smaller version of Naturalist available on CurseForge and Modrent that you can download and play completely for free. It has a few less features, but trust me, it is just as much fun. Remember, links to everything I've just mentioned are down in the description. And hey, if while you're playing you find some cool features that we didn't mention in this video, go ahead and tell us about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. We really appreciate the support. Be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this.